Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fraser Not the Exorcist. And today I want to talk about the almost perfect trilogy that was the Ginger Snaps movies. Now, when it comes to movie franchises, especially horror movie franchises, they're rarely, if like, just not ever like perfect. Well, not like act. Of course, they don't mean like actually perfect, but just like consistently good quality. Just look anywhere from all of the most popular horror franchises like the Friday the 13th, on your what's the one, Freddy Krueger. Wait, that is no, that's oh wow, can't remember the name of Freddy Krueger's. Anyway, but they're all pretty much like filled with both good and bad movies, and Ginger Snaps is no exception. So, as far as like what makes it a not perfect trilogy, I think the best way to go through that is to start from the beginning when it was actually good. So, starting with the first film, let's talk about Ginger Snaps, the original one that came out in 2000. It's a Canadian supernatural horror film. So basically, the story follows Catherine Isabel and Emily Perkins as the characters Ginger and Bridget, respectively. They're sisters who have this, well, not sort of obsession, but I guess you could call it an obsession with death or something like that. Anyway, but they're like basic teenage girls who don't want to grow up and stuff like that. But then one night, Ginger gets bitten by a Lycan, or some would say werewolf. Not sure how different it is from a werewolf, but they call it a Lycan, so it's a Lycan. She gets bitten by a Lycan and begins to transform into one, and it also like changes her personality. Well, it doesn't. Well, I'm not sure if it like changes her personality or just kind of like brings her desires to the forefront or something like that. But basically, throughout the movie, they're trying to find a cure, and Bridget does not want to, because of course Bridget doesn't want to kill her sister. She wants her to live because they are very like dependent on each other, especially Bridget being dependent on Ginger. So the movie's basically about them trying to find a cure. And this movie was a success, not exactly a commercial success. According to Wikipedia, it was a commercial success, but looking at the box office, it earned about around $500,000, but the budget was like 4.5 million, which I'm not sure how that's a success. But they're probably also talking about like DVD sales. I am very sure that this sold really well on VHS and DVD and stuff like that back then, and it quickly gained a cult following. Now, of course, like given this is of course a great movie, I think it's a great movie at least. And the thing that holds the whole movie together, because like it's okay, the thing that makes Ginger Snaps a good movie in my opinion is the undeniable chemistry between Catherine Isabel and Emily Perkins. All right, just the way how they play their characters is very very entertaining, very attention grabbing. Like they're all very charismatic and funny and stuff like that. So that's basically the glue that holds the movie together. Looking at everything else that surrounds it, like I'm not even gonna play with you. Like throughout the whole Ginger Snaps franchise, one thing that is consistent, because the quality isn't consistent, but one thing that is consistent is the special effects, which are not very good, especially the most important special effect, which is the lichens themselves. Like they're kept mostly in the darkness, and that's not just a stylistic choice, it's because they look very unconvincing and just like really really bad. But anyway, the movie got a cult following and is a critical success. Got a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that is a very well deserved score because it is a really good supernatural horror film. Now, in my opinion, like I think most people consider this original film to be the best out of the whole franchise. But in my personal opinion, I think that Ginger Snaps 2 is better, but the reason why is because like if the first Ginger if the first Ginger Snaps had kept a consistent quality from start to finish, like a nice build up to the climax, then it would have like definitely been the best film out of all the three, in my opinion. But the film does not keep a consistent quality. It starts off really, 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 really strong, like as strong as it could have possibly started out. All right, because as I said before, the glue that holds the whole thing together and makes it such a great film is Catherine Isabel and Emily Perkins' chemistry. So when that's lost, because like spoilers, right? I won't spoil like the I won't like give out all the spoilers, but in order to like really uh tell you how good or bad the thing is, I think I have to give some spoilers. So if you want to watch them, I mean, like they're not like huge spoilers or anything like that. I don't think they would destroy your enjoyment of the films or anything like that. But spoilers, Ginger does eventually turn into a full Lycan by about three-quarter ways into the film. And as soon as, but like, all right, as soon as Ginger starts to show more Lycan tendencies than human tendencies, as we show her, as it shows her embracing her now animalistic side, uh of course that of course something that has to happen in order for her to like go full Lycan is for the bond between her and Bridget to be pretty much severed completely. All right, like she keeps telling Bridget to join her, but of course Bridget says no, and then so they both go separate ways in that regard. And that sort of kills the entertainment value. Well, it doesn't kill the entertainment value, but it severely lowers the entertainment value of the film, in my opinion, from that point onward, because as I said like a bunch of times by now, the glue that holds the whole thing together is their chemistry. So when that chemistry is not allowed to happen, you just kind of see how, wow, I just spit, you just kind of see how just okay the like everything surrounding their performances are. Like of course like everyone does a great job with the performances and stuff like that, and it has a nice atmosphere and attitude about it, but it's still like it just doesn't compare to what Ginger and Bridget brought to the film as far as entertainment. All right, so the rest of the film, it's okay, it goes how you would expect it to go, but it's just not as entertaining, and it's like very noticeable and really like lowered my love of the film in that regard. But I still think it's a great film. I probably give it like a 7.5 or 8 out of 10 probably, but it's still a great film. But there's a definite like notice of decrease in quality, like I think around halfway the film. So after the first film, we got two other Ginger Snaps films to close out the franchise. So the second film in the Ginger Snaps franchise was Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed. Okay, released in 2004. That's 4 years after the first one, and it was shot back to back with the prequel, the third and final film, Ginger Snaps Back: The Beginning, which we'll talk about in a few minutes after this one. So basically, in what happens in Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed, well, after the death of, well, spoilers, after the death of Ginger, when she turned into her Lycan form, Bridget killed her in the end. And Bridget, I think I'm not sure if she got bitten or if she put her blood together, like or if she mixed hers and Ginger's blood. I can't really remember what happened then, but basically now she has the curse of the Lycan inside of her now, and she's now transforming into a Lycan. I'm pretty sure the film takes place a year after, about a year after. Anyway, and she uses something that they found in the first movie, monkshood, to and she's using it to try and cure herself of the Lycan curse. And it's not really working. It's just kind of like holding it back from happening as fast as it did with Ginger. So she's now just like, so it's now kind of like a sort of addictive drug. Because of course, like, how many people are gonna believe that you have like a werewolf curse and you're using this thing to dissipate it or try to cure it? Of course. So she just kind of keeps that to herself and uses it. And basically the film is about her, of course, still trying to continue to like hold back the transformation as long as possible and still hoping for a cure. But that gets, well, that plan kind of gets messed up when she finds out that there's this other lichen that's never really like shown where it comes from or anything like that. But there's this other lichen that's trying to come and mate with her. And of course, in order for her to, anyway, so it's trying to come and mate with her, but of course she doesn't want that to actually happen, so she's on the run all the time. And when it finally catches up to her and kills someone that was close to her at the time that it showed up, she basically gets taken to this, what's it called again? What's it? I think it's what do you call that place? Oh, she basically gets taken to a rehab clinic, because they see that she has these like drugs on her, and so they take her in there and try to, and of course take her off of it and try to cure her. But of course that only means that the transformations are now happening faster, so she needs to get access to the monk's hood in order to keep holding back the lycanthrope thing. And we also so it's basically, all right, so the so the story, wow, we just said a bunch of things. The story is basically about Bridget trying to hold back the Lycan curse from happening to her like it happened to Ginger, because she doesn't want to transform. That's basically it. And this movie, in my opinion, is the best out of all the Ginger Snaps movies because it keeps a consistent quality. All right, unlike the other films, I think this one like gradually builds up to a really nice climax. I really like that about the film. And the biggest reason, like kind of adjacent to the first film, like why this film was successful, in my opinion, in keeping a consistent quality, is because throughout the film, it's because of the chemistry between Bridget and this new character that we have called Ghost. Like, well, we only know her as Ghost. We never find out her name, played by Tatiana Maslany, or who you might know as is she's about to become She-Hulk in a few months, or about a month. I'm not sure when the show is coming out. But Ghost is, in my opinion, like the best villain out of the whole Ginger Snaps franchise. Of like even compared to Ginger, like I think she's a better villain in my opinion, because I didn't want Ginger to be a bad person. But anyway, just basically, Ghost is a really really nice character. Tatiana Maslany does an amazing job in that role, and the movie keeps a very consistent quality, and that's basically why it was successful. And yeah, it had a smaller budget than the first film, only 3.5 million, but I think but I think that like it still worked out for the better in the end. The werewolf, in my opinion, looks even worse here, but likely thanks to the smaller budget. The climax is really well done, and just the way how everything is wrapped up is really really nice. So I don't want to spoil anything about it, well, anything much other than what I've already spoiled. So I definitely recommend that you watch Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed. Now, where things really fell apart, in my opinion, and what makes Ginger Snaps an almost perfect trilogy, was the third and final film, which just released about 6 months after Ginger Snaps 2 in 2004. Is Ginger Snaps Back, the beginning. So basically, this is a prequel film to the two previous Ginger Snaps movies, where it goes all the way back to the 1800s, I think. Yeah, 1800s, and shows like their descendants, which doesn't really make any sense because of what happens to them in that movie. Um, won't go into that detail, but yeah, so they're descendants who just happen to behave exactly like the Ginger and Bridget from later on. So basically, they're these two sisters who are traveling through the wilderness. They get lost. Then they get surrounded by wolves, and then they get saved and taken to this Fort Bailey, and basically they're battling against the fort's leader, who's an evil guy, and against the Lycans outside of the fort, trying to get in to kill them. Of course, there's like more details to that, but that's basically it. So basically, what makes this the, black sheep, dark horse in the trilogy, is that it sucks. Not like really sucks. Like it's not like that bad. It's not like it's like just disappointing. It's not really much of anything in my opinion. It just didn't grab me. Like I think it's a bit of an interesting concept, but it's not anything. There isn't anything really that interesting about the entire film. All right, and the special effects are like they're surrounded by snow, right? So they spend a lot of time. So even when it's dark, it kind of looks light because there's a bunch of white snow around, which allows you to see the lichens. It's like the clearest vision of the lichens that you can possibly see in all of the Ginger Snaps movies, and that is a very poor production choice in my opinion, because when you actually see the lichens, you can actually see how bad they look, which is absolutely terrible. I'm not sure what the budget for this movie was. I tried looking it up, but I cannot find the budget of it. But I'm thinking that it's even less than Ginger Snaps 2, which was even less than the first one. Because, like, it just. Oh, it's just like such a drop in quality from the past two films. All right, it's not that interesting of a movie. Of course, Ginger and Bridget are still, good together, but they're not given that much character development. They're not given that much to even do, really. They're just kind of in this fort trying to prevent Ginger from turning into a werewolf again because she gets bitten by a lichen. But that's pretty much it. There is not, there's just nothing that interesting about the movie as a whole. It just kind of comes in and then leaves, all right? There's attempts at things happening, but nothing really sticks. Nothing really interested me about the entire film. And that's about it. That's about it as far as it goes for the Ginger Snaps franchise. Oh well. Oh, I just saw the budget here on IMDb. It's 3.5 million. So it has the same budget as the first, well, as Ginger Snaps 2, but not nearly as good a movie in my opinion. All right, the characters are not interesting. Somehow they managed to not make to make both Ginger and Bridget like uninteresting characters, because they kind of just walk through the film. There's not really anything speaking to them emotionally. It just kind of happens to them, and that's why I think that it's a bad movie. All right, it's not like terrible. It's not terrible. It's a watchable film, but it's still bad. All right, it's like a 4.5, borderline 5 out of 10. Like borderline 5 would make it average, but I don't think it's average. I think it's a pretty bad movie. in my opinion. So that's about it. What do you think? Do you think that Ginger Snaps 3 is a good movie? Do you think that the prequel back Ginger Snaps Back to the Beginning is a good movie? I'd like to know in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think that the first one is the best one? Do you think the second one is the best one? Which one do you think is best? Which one do you think is worst? Are you excited for the Ginger Snaps TV series that's supposed to be coming? Myself, not really. I think they should just leave it alone. But hey, who knows, right? Could be a good movie. Anyway, this has been Fraser Not the Exorcist. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to know when I upload next. Follow me on Twitter at Fraser Not the Exorcist, and I'll see you all next time. God bless.